What's up guys, it's your boys from Group 78 coming at you with a Maplestory Let's Play. Maplestory is a free-to-play, massively multiplayer, online role-playing game, or otherwise known as MMORPG. It was developed by Wizard, but published in North America by Nexon in 2005. Maplestory is a 2D side-scrolling game, and much like other typical role-playing games, the player finds themselves exploring the Maple world, completing quests, and improving their character's skills and abilities, all the while defeating enemies such as the common mob to the epic bosses. Players begin their Maple journey by first choosing the world in which they would like to play in. There are two different kinds of worlds. First, being every server other than the reboot servers, such as Windia, and second, being the reboot servers themselves. We will talk more about the reboot servers later in this video. After selecting their server, they can choose which channel to join. In each world, there are multiple channels, so if one channel is too full or too populated, you can always move to another one. From there, the player can look through their existing characters, and for new players, they can create their own. Players can look through and select the class of character that they want to be. Most of the early classes play out similarly, such as the Explorers, Resistance, Cygnus Knights, and the early Maple heroes. However, most of the newer classes such as Ilium, Luminous, Phantom, and so on, all have their own unique playstyles and mechanics. In this playthrough, we will choose a Resistance character. The Resistance Explorer is a character that can advance into one of 4 jobs that consist of Blaster, Battle Mage, Wild Hunter, and Mechanic. Once the player has chosen the class, they can customize its visual appearance. The aesthetic customization of the player's character may range from hairstyle, hair color, skin tone, outfit, and finally, the player's weapon of choice. Since this is an online multiplayer game, the player must choose their screen name or username that they want to display to the world. The player then chooses their desired keyboard settings. Afterwards, using the pin code feature, the player can choose a pin code comprising of 4 to 6 numbers for an additional level of security on their account's characters and items. Once choosing a character and the player's desired server and channel, the player begins their Maplestory journey by playing through the tutorial and getting familiar with the character's controls and specific actions and abilities that one must use throughout their journey. To move left or right, you use the left or right arrow keys, up and down arrow keys to move up and down ropes, Alt to jump, Control button to basic attack, and using the mouse to navigate and manipulate one's inventory, as well as interacting with non-playable characters, or otherwise known as NPCs. The design of Maplestory is simple yet effective. The skills required for Maplestory don't drive away new players, but also constantly engage more skilled players to continue playing. The physical skills involved in controlling your player well, with hand-eye coordination. The mental skills involve decision making and problem solving, as you are to complete quests and solve puzzles and problems along the way. And finally, social skills, which involve coordinating actions with one's guild members. All of this leads to Maplestory having a very good flow state, where a player can be immersed in the game for hours. The game objects include platforms, ropes, doors, portals, enemies, items, and so on. Objects such as items and enemies have dynamic attributes which can change their state. For example, an enemy monster can be in an alive state, as well as a dead state. And items can be in a drop state or in a retrieved state. The operative actions in Maplestory simply involve navigating around the map, attacking monsters, and interacting with NPCs. The resultant actions in Maplestory allow for the player to use more strategy when it comes to trading items, baiting monsters in for a lethal attack, and so on. Maplestory also uses a high amount of navigational affordance by using visual cues such as portals or doors to show the player where they need to go. Maplestory also has a good amount of player agency, as players can decide which class of character that they want to become, as well as deciding which quests they want to complete depending on their goals. Finally, as mentioned earlier, in the reboot servers, the monsters are tougher and stronger, but provide more misos and equipment. The greatest appeal to the reboot server is the fact that trading equipment between players is unavailable. This feature creates more of a challenge for players, and therefore, collecting higher quality equipment becomes more valuable and is more of an actual accomplishment. According to the gamer motivational model, a player in the achievement category would most likely prefer the reboot server, whereas a more casual player, perhaps in the action or social category, would most likely prefer the classic servers. Although Maplestory is a free-to-play game, in 2006, Wizard revealed that they earned over 300 million USD from Maplestory. Maplestory is a game that is offered for free. However, players can make in-game purchases for services, virtual goods, and new features. Therefore, the underlying business model would be a freemium game. It is possible to get these goods by purchasing NX, which can be bought online, or bought by using prepaid cards, which can be bought at stores. There's also the argument that the non-reboot servers are pay to win. With money, it is possible to buy the best items by using the Scissors of Karma, which allow untradeable items like the endgame gears to become tradable. You can also buy items that allow you to travel anywhere in the Maple world just by double clicking on the map, as well as cosmetic items that change the look of your character's appearance and his items. Combining the fact that the game had a wide appeal and people becoming seriously attracted to the game, many players opted to buy NX in order to make their avatars look cooler and to be stronger in-game, which led to its economic success. There's a social aspect in Maplestory, where one can join other people's guilds. This requires that they actually interact with the other players in order that they may join their guild, and the other players may choose whether or not to add you to their guild. Maplestory is a game full of RPG content that contribute to immersion, self-expression, and social communication. Its simplistic design on the outside also allowed for fast updates to keep up with player demand, yet the hardcore grinding forces players to play for a long time in order to reach the max level. Maplestory is a game that allows players to choose how to play. You can be a lone venturer, completing quests or killing monsters alone, or a brave explorer completing party quests to take down a big boss. What makes Maplestory party quests unique is that compared to most RPGs these days that just require players to meet up and kill monsters, is that Maplestory has a series of puzzles, trivia, and platforming. There was always a reason to communicate. What really puts Maplestory above others, in our eyes, is the immersion and self-expression. Due to the nature of the way text comes up, it's almost like every player was part of a huge text group. You never had to inspect the world chat because not everyone could use it. People would just use the say chat, which would just come up as a text bubble for you or anyone around you. This adds to the immersion because as you walk through town and go to different places, it feels more alive to see people talking to each other. It didn't flood you with pointless emotes either, but instead it had an iconic face expressions that could be easily seen on people's big heads. If someone died, their party would spam the F4 sad face and bob up and down in a comedic fashion. Or when someone hits a big milestone level, their friends and guild members come to see it happen and celebrate it with the player. It also helps that everyone had their own personal chairs, which was pointed at us early in the game in case we ever wanted to sit down. One thing that we haven't touched on yet is the immense yet immersive library of music Maplestory has to offer. The original soundtrack is important for any game and can be an iconic part of a game's history. Soundtracks make you feel like you're in the game and does wonders for its longevity and creativity. Maplestory has its own set of music, one of which is my personal favorite. Beachway, Florina Beach. The map is set at the end of the beginning stride of Maplestory, and for me, after a challenging, gruesome grind in the depths of El Nath, all I wanted is to take a break and relax at El Florina Beach. Furthermore, the Maple world is huge. Each class has their own town, and it's fun to explore the world and meet new players and NPCs. Maplestory takes advantage of the 2D graphics to boost role-playing and communication. Thanks for watching our Maplestory Let's Play. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment down below, and make sure you smash that like button. Thanks for watching.